Someone asked me about it on Twitter, so we'll talk about it right now. It's pretty arbitrary. It's pretty subjective. I know there's some sort of criteria. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but we will talk about it briefly. The PWI 500 top 10 came out yesterday. The full 500 came out yesterday. We'll specifically talk about the top 10. I don't read the PWI, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I just saw the top 10. I thought it was interesting. People were saying that Cody Rhodes should have been higher. I think he was 33 after all that he's done in 2017 and 2016, but nevertheless, he had a great year. I mean, so did many other people that were in the top 10. So here's a list. We'll run it down real quick and we'll give our thoughts. So at number 10, we got The Miz. Number 9, Bobby Roode. 8, Samoa Joe. 7, Dean Ambrose. 6, Shinsuke Nakamura. 5, Kenny Omega. 4, Roman Reigns. 3, Kevin Owens. 2, AJ Styles. And 1, Okada. I think the only thing they go by, maybe not the only thing, but one of the main things they go by is not like who had the greatest matches, but rather who had the most amount of wins, championship victories, biggest storylines, etc., explains why. Like Ambrose is on here. He hasn't had like many amazing matches in the last 365 days, but he was WWE champion, he's a tag team champion, IC champion, so I can see why he's on there. But yeah, Lucas, hearing that list, any initial thoughts on the PWI top 10 of the 500?
I mean, I think it's a pretty solid list because what a lot of people always take away from these kind of lists is that they're judging a wrestler based off everything they've done. As you said, it's not just about the greatest matches or how many matches they've had. It's really not about that. It's a categorization of everything that involved that character, that persona, and that wrestler. And that's why The Miz is on that list at number 10. And I think that's also why Dean Ambrose is at number 8. Now, I will be honest. If there's anyone who I'm shocked about that's in this list, it is Dean Ambrose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because for what I just said, I wouldn't consider Dean Ambrose as a guy who's done everything this year to earn number 8. You know, I mean, if we're talking about everything, like his character, his promos, his storylines, his matches, and his feuds, not really number 8 worthy for me, in my opinion. So I don't know what they're considering as far as Dean Ambrose. Maybe they saw something differently, but with everyone else, I think everyone is right where they belong, especially Samoa Joe and Nakamura, Omega, Roman Reigns, especially Roman Reigns. I mean, Roman Reigns has had so many good moments in the last year, you know, whether it was the Fatal 4-Way match recently or his collision with The Undertaker at WrestleMania, you know, or even at the Royal Rumble, you know. Roman Reigns has been impressive this past year. And then you talk about Okada and Omega and everything they've done. I mean, come on. Is it really a surprise? Not really. You know, and then you have Nakamura at number 6. People have to remember everything Nakamura did in NXT for the last year. I mean, the guy was just amazing. So I'm okay with this list. I'm satisfied with it. The only question mark for me really is Dean Ambrose at number 8. But I think everyone is right where they belong, especially The Miz at number 10 with all his promos from SmackDown, you know, his feuds with John Cena and Dean Ambrose. Those are some good feuds on SmackDown that he's had. And I think maybe Ambrose, the reason why he earned some points is that feud he had with The Miz, now that I think about it. Also, the feud he had with AJ Styles on SmackDown. So, yeah, maybe there were some good moments for Dean Ambrose, and also the whole triple threat match he had with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins last year. So, again, I'm not too mad about this list. I could see I could make an argument for everyone. AJ Styles, number 2, I would have probably made him number 1 and switched those numbers around and have Okada at number 2, because AJ Styles has made the most impact in his first year in the WWE by far, and he's only into his second year, and the guy's already like a legend in the WWE. So it's insane what AJ Styles has been able to accomplish within the last 2 years of him being in the WWE. It's amazing, you know, and his second year isn't even fully done yet, but he's already like on the top of everyone. You know, he's number 1. He's the number 1 guy on SmackDown, and it's incredible, you know. So AJ Styles, I would have had him at number 1 for everything that he has done and accomplished, because not so many guys from the indie scene can come over to WWE and just completely dominate and do what they have, such as AJ Styles. You know, what that guy has done, no pun intended, has been phenomenal. I mean, not even Punk was able to accomplish this so soon in his WWE career. Not even Daniel Bryan, but AJ Styles certainly did. So it's incredible, all that momentum he picked up. That's the only argument I would make, is that AJ Styles should be number one. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think if there's any guy from WWE that should be ahead of everyone else in the company, it should be AJ Styles. I mean, in the last year and a half alone, since he showed up at the Rumble in 2016, the guy's been WWE champion, a two-time United States champion. He's had great main event matches with John Cena. He headlined the Money in the Bank pay-per-view this past year, which was a great match. Had an awesome match with Shane McMahon. Other great matches, along the way with all these other people on Raw and SmackDown, just recently Kevin Owens. So I absolutely agree with the ranking of having him at number 2. I understand Okada being at number 1. I actually don't disagree with that at all. I think he's been champion for the entire year that they've been counting this. I think they start in around June. That's the time window from like June to June, from year to year. I think he's been the IWGP champion the entire time. And of course, he's had amazing matches with pretty much everybody. I'm not a big New Japan fan, but from what I've seen and understand, he's had great matches with everybody, and he's held the championship the entire time. So I get him being at number 1. I don't think he's ever been at number 1 before, so that's well-deserved. But like you said, Styles being at number 2 is a solid second. That guy's had such an amazing impact on this company. Without AJ Styles, WWE, not to say it's been a hot product in the past year, but it would be way worse off without AJ Styles and stuff that he's done, especially SmackDown, since they started the brand extension. And as you said as well, I mean, just to add on to what you had said about The Miz, him being at number 10, I think is very well-deserved. I mean, the guy was number 1, I think, many years ago when he was WWE champion, but he's kind of fell off the radar since then. But what he's doing right now and has done over the last year since that, quote-unquote pipe bomb promo, the tirade, the rant, whatever, on Talking Smack almost exactly a year ago, from then to now, is probably better than the work that he was doing as WWE champion 5-6 years ago. And the matches he's had, he's been IC champion for the better part of that year. The feuds he's had with Dean Ambrose, with John Cena, and everyone else along the way. Dolph Ziggler, the great matches they had have just been phenomenal. So I completely agree. For the most part, with 1 to 10. And like you said, I think everyone on the list is all from WWE except for Okada and Okada and Kenny Omega. So I'm not sure who else would have made the cut. I saw the other people that barely made the cut. No, not barely made the cut, but just under 10. I think Neville might have been number 11 or number 12. I would have put him in the top 10 any other year or any other instance, just because it was from June to June, and he was off TV for largely the second half of 2016. The guy didn't come back until December. And of course, he started killing it at the start of this year, but beyond that, he was gone for the better part of 2016, so I understand why he's not in the top 10. But yeah, I think it's a solid list. People take, again, it's just a list that's put together by wrestling fans and people that know what they're talking about. It's by no means the Bible or anything like that. So for people to disagree, that's what it's for, to get people talking, and it definitely got people talking on Twitter yesterday.